Today in the nation's capital, 2 of the top 5 high school football teams in the country square off. Teams loaded with prospects to play at the sport's higher levels, and soon. Number 2, Miami Central, and number 5, DeMartha kick off their seasons now. It's the marquee matchup of the Geico High School Football Kickoff Weekend. In the shadow of FedEx Field, the number 2 Miami Central Rockets, 6A state champions 3 straight years in Florida, against the 5th-ranked DeMartha Catholic Stags, champions of the tough WCAC for 2 straight years. The second day of our Geico High School Football Kickoff Weekend begins with a blockbuster. And hello from the nation's capital. Alan Bestwick joined by former Boise State and Colorado head coach Dan Hawkins. Hawk number 2 against number 5. A lot of hype leading into the game, but you think it can live up to the hype.
I'm jacked for this thing, Alan. This is the best high school game you're going to see this year. 19 guys have offers. It looks like a mini SEC Division I game, loaded with players on both sides of the ball. You see right here, you've also got teams that are used to winning the championship as well. And Central Miami, no stranger going on the road. We had them last year when they went up to Hoover in Alabama. These guys are road warriors.
They are loaded with talent, both sides are, and ready for what should be an excellent match. Now let's focus in on our Who's Next, presented by Geico, on one player from each side that will be particularly worth watching here today.
Yeah, you got Jamel Cook playing corner for Central. Long, lean, 6'3", 6'4" type corner. Also can play safety. You see there, he's verbal to Florida. You got Shane Simmons, who plays DN. A rangy guy, again, athletic, can play linebacker. 6'4", long, lean. Coach Franklin's looking forward to getting him with the Nittany Lions.
And weather conditions for the game, well, it's a typical late August day here in D.C. 83 degrees, forecast to go up to about 87. Humidity, relatively low, pun intended, for the folks from South Florida. Although their attention has been more focused on being thankful that Tropical Storm Erica has dissipated and gone another way. Steamy day, but great conditions for football and for the season opener. And a good crowd has turned out, including a very strong supporters section for the road team, the Central Rockets. There is Shane Simmons, the senior defensive end for DeMartha, getting ready to go. The coin toss won by DeMartha. They have deferred, so you'll see Simmons and the Stags D on the field here momentarily.
Get ready and don't blink, Alan. A lot of players, a lot of speed on this field. This will be like a college game. You don't see this many offered high school players matching up against each other in one game.
So, referee giving instructions. They've teed the ball up. The excellent kicker for the Stags is Luca Fazio. He will tee it up and send it back deep. James Cook, 34. And 15, Kalajuan Marat back to receive. The ball goes short and will be taken there, and they'll put it into play from about the 30-yard line, and that's where Miami Central will go to work.
That was a telling tale right there. Coach Brooks electing just to go ahead and go with a pooch kick and take it short. No need kicking it back to that speed that Miami Central has.
So the Miami Central Rockets take the field. Spotlight players on offense to watch include their quarterback, Gerard Thomas, a senior. His brother, as you see there, plays right next door at FedEx Field for the Washington Redskins. Corey Roberts is the setback. And watch number 7, Darnell Sullivan, one of the 4-star prospects. He's a wideout. Handoff coming this way. Quickly jumped on. Getting through the line, Austin Fontaine, 79, the defensive front man for the Stags.
This front four for the Stags, they've got 4 guys offered. You saw Austin Fontaine, only a sophomore, plenty of offers. Shane Simmons, the talented DN we're talking about, number 34, he plays outside. Chase Young has also been an offered defensive end on the other side, and then Sean Olawatimi is inside, and he's an offered guy. All 4 of these D linemen, Division I offers.
2nd and 10, Roberts. Chase down, Simmons, Shane Simmons, one of those 4-star prospects among those in on the pursuit, and with the stop, and it'll bring up a 3rd and long for the Rockets.
Both of these teams really believe in the running game. They will go no huddle and they will do some tempo, but they love to get in 2 backs and a tight end and run traditional power running type plays.
Thomas last year, 112 for 193 in passing on the 3rd and 5. He'll throw this time. The out, and it will go on a little miscommunication with Darnell Solomon, the 4-star wide receiver prospect, and bring up quickly 4th down for the Rockets.
That's kind of an early season bugaboo there. You're trying to throw a little hitch for a 1st down and timing just off a little bit. Darnell Solomon, as you mentioned, he's the #2 ranked player in the ESPN 150. He's a transfer, 6'2", 205. Really good size for a wide receiver.
Jordan Nadelman, the punter for the Rockets, kicks it away. Robbie Robinson has the ball for the Stags, looking for some running room. Little seam, still on his feet. Across midfield, look at them push the pile into Rocket territory, where the Stags will go to work for the first time.
Robbie Robinson, another transfer coming in here from Virginia. He's an Arizona State commit, and that kind of shows you the length of influence of both of these teams. They've got teams coming over here from the Pac-12 offering and getting guys out of this DeMartha program.
Look at Robbie Robinson as now the DeMartha offense goes to work on the field. Bo English, their junior quarterback, will be under center for this 1st down play that'll come from the Rocket 48-yard line. To throw, got a man downfield, just misses. Tino Ellis, the senior wideout who slipped by the defense and had a chance.
Tino Ellis, an Under Armour All-American, will be headed to that football game. He's a Maryland commit, one of 3 Maryland commits in this game. Daryl Turner, also wide receiver DB, and Lorenzo Harrison. Maryland doing a nice job keeping the best players home.
There's Bo English. You see the football lineage in his family. Father playing for the Air Force Falcons. The junior last year threw for over 1,600 yards as DeMartha won their conference championship for a 2nd straight year. Handoff, he was hit in the backfield. He barely managed to get the ball away. Lorenzo Harrison on the carry, the Maryland 3-star recruit. Short yardage there, and into the backfield, Eric Mitchell quickly for the Miami Central defensive line.
Well, you see Keir Thomas just get unbelievable pressure up inside there. You see that pile being created. #1, this guy is committed right now to Florida State. I think he's going to get a lot of attention. He plays deep tackle. He's a little bit light, maybe would go outside as a DN, but he is explosive. #1 in the middle, keep an eye on him.
3rd and 10. Complete. DJ Turner, Darrell Turner Jr. on the reception. The #135 wide receiver in the recruiting national recruiting database.
Simple slant outside, timing route, get the ball out of your hands. Coach Brooks talked about managing the first 4 to 5 minutes of this game and keeping emotions in check, and so far they're doing a nice job of that.
Well, the other thing Coach Brooks talked about was that his team was run first, throw if you have to. Well, on the 3rd and 10, they threw and picked up the 1st down. Again, Harrison on the carry, but he's met very quickly by that stout Miami Central front line.
Boys, you call them stout, I call them nasty. That's a nasty group now. Those guys are big, bad, and ugly up in there. It's going to be tough running consistently, even though both of these teams are loaded. There's a lot of physicality up front.
Now, DeMartha has a pretty sizable front line also, and really, both coaches thought this game was going to be a test of wills on the front 7 on each side of the ball. To throw. Overthrown on the outside, looking for Harrison out of the backfield. It'll fall incomplete.
A little behind him. Now, one of the things in this game, you've got 2 quarterbacks that do a nice job. They're manageable, but they're not the feature players. So really in this game, which is a little bit ironic, normally you'd have a feature guy there. They've got so much talent around them. Their job really is don't take sacks, don't turn it over, pitch and catch, allow your star players to make plays.
So another 3rd and long here for DeMartha. Pressure. Outside, Harrison slips one, but just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll set up 4th down, and a flag comes in late.
Natron Grayson, number 17 from Miami, really read that, but he missed the tackle. Good call on running the screen right there.
Our referee for the day is Enrico Carpenti.
Miami Central has been issued a sideline warning. Miami Central has been issued a sideline warning.
All right, so a little excited after this fourth down, after the third down stop.
Big emphasis they made on that last year, trying to keep the coaches and players back for the safety, particularly the officials. Sometimes they got to run up and down there backwards and can't really see what they're running into.
So fourth down in a short field punting situation here. Jamal Hudson is the one back, maybe about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage for the Rockets. And the punter is Grant Donaldson.
Saw the Stags punting yesterday. Not a lot of boomers coming out. This is probably an ideal situation.
Ball takes the big skip and into the end zone. And the Rockets will get their possession for the second time, started at the 20. Scoreless early, number 2 and number 5 in the nation's capital. Against number 5, DeMartha, here in Hyattsville, Maryland, just outside of the nation's capital. Alan Bestwick, Dan Hawkins, glad that you've joined us for the first of a day and night long series of top high school football games today on the ESPN networks. They'll run all the way till past midnight East Coast time tonight, including seeing the number 1 team in the country play later on tonight. Scoreless after the opening possession for both teams. The Rockets, after a 3 and out on their first series, take over on their own 20-yard line. Keno Mike has the ball, hit quickly, bulls his way through forward after the first contact, and then is brought down by Marquise Brown, number 40 for the Stags.
Pretty conservative in the first couple series, keeping it close to the vest. Don't want to make a mistake, big game. Miami Central did have an opener last week, but DeMartha, this is their first game. Don't want to make a mistake early on that cost your team.
Had a player have to come off the field with a helmet that came off, Chase Young for the Stags. That's the reason for the stoppage of the clock. Mike again, and again to the right. Shane Simmons was the one that stood him up, 34.
Run the goddamn ball.
Shane Simmons can cover a lot of ground here. It's going to be very difficult to get outside on him. He's got so much range. You see him there. Good force tackler.
Shane, the Penn State recruit, commit. The number 4 defensive end in the ESPN Recruiting Nation database.
6'4", 231. He looks like he could probably put on another 20 pounds and not gain an ounce of body fat.
To throw.
Nice break on the ball.
Robbie Robinson. Saw him earlier on the kick return. And the defender for the Stags with the pass breakup, bringing up another fourth down for Miami Central.
Really great jump on the ball right there. That's what gets him a Division I scholarship at Arizona State. Obviously, you love a guy that can return punts. Now, they've run the hitch a couple of times, Alan. Maybe that next series, hitch and go. Might happen.
Trying to set the hook, are you?
Well, you get two hitches and he's all over it.
Let that one bounce. And it'll be down at the 41-yard line. And that is where DeMartha will take over after keeping the Central Rockets off the scoreboard through their first 2 possessions. Including its season, high school football just getting underway. Our Geico High School Football Kickoff coming to you from Hyattsville, Maryland, where the DeMartha Stags have held the Miami Central Rockets to just 11 yards on their first 2 drives. Coach Elijah Brooks watching his team now go to work on their second offensive possession.
Right there is Jamel Cook. He's the big, tall corner. When I say tall, 6'4", you don't see him built like that much. He's a Florida State commit. Comes in at 6'4". Don't see.
High snap handled by English. He got the ball in the hands of Harrison, who then ran into the back of his offensive line because it was being shoved backwards.
Well, that would be number 1, Keir Thomas. Now, this guy can get off the ball. Anytime you see a pile back there, I'll bet number 1's laying inside of it, and he sure is. The guy is really unbelievable. He is so explosive and uses his hands. Incredible.
Loss of 3. The swing pass to the outside. Not doing much for DJ Turner. Good pursuit on the outside by Donovan Thompson and Jamal Hudson for Central.
Yeah, Jamel Cook doing a nice job getting off the block. A corner that size with what people do outside now with the bob screen and the quick screen and the smoke screen, all those balls thrown out to the receivers. You got a guy 6'4" that plays like a safety out there, makes it tough. Keep your eye out here outside now. Going a little buncher. That's McFarland right there. Now he's a junior. This guy can really run.
English throws, looking long. Looked like he and DJ Turner not quite on the same page of what spot to be in, and it'll bring up 4th down and a hold for Central.
Not uncommon to see a game like this early on when you have so many athletes on the field and you're trying to get your execution going on offense that defense kind of rules the day.
And, you know, we talked with Coach Elijah Brooks for DeMartha yesterday about, okay, first game of the season, what are your biggest concerns? And what he said was getting through the first 4 minutes emotionally and then operationally, making sure the right personnel are on the field at the right time and not wasting time like this. They've got a late guy running on.
Yeah. And we were out there yesterday at practice, and they went over special teams a bunch.
Jamal Hudson back deep. The punt kick off to the side. Bouncing, taking a DeMartha bounce. And rolls inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Third offensive series coming up for Miami Central. We're scoreless. Number 3, but they moved up when number 2 then, IMG Academy, lost to American Heritage last Saturday. Dropped IMG Academy all the way to number 22 in the rankings. By the way, remember that IMG Academy name if you're a DeMartha fan, because that is who the Stags will face. Excuse me, American Heritage name. That's who the Stags will face next weekend. So here we go with another offensive possession for the Rockets, and not much doing for them on their first couple possessions. Biggest gain of yard there. Kawan Smith gets through the offensive line, pursued from behind by Shane Simmons.
He's going to have a bunch of tackles and be wore out. There's a couple people you want to watch from Miami. Over on left tackle is Devon Donaldson, 6'5", 330, number 55. He's a Miami commit. Down inside playing left tackle for the Rockets.
Not much for Smith there. Met by Marquise Brown for the Stags. There's a look at Donaldson.
He's a large man, came from basketball, very athletic, can move his feet.
Very explosive off the line, and he's, according to the scouting reports, pretty good in space, too. So 3rd and short here for the Rockets. Can they get their first down? Far side, stumbling but surging forward, and picking up the first down is Smith, and the Rockets will move the chains.
Tough early in the game with Central being backed up all the time. Makes it a little bit more conservative in the play calling. You got to think at some point here they might see what Darnell Solomon, the highly touted receiver who's a Miami commit, at the top of your screen, number 7. Those are the 2 players for Central right now committed. Well, actually, Solomon is not committed, but 2 highly ranked players keep an eye on.
Swung to the near side. Land, the sophomore, doesn't get much on it.
Very physical play outside. Obviously, this popular bob screen, everybody's running in the country, but very physical play on both sides of the ball. Both of these teams. Cole Williams doing a nice job there, number 20, coming up and making a play.
Yeah, played through a block, too. Very nice. So short yardage game there, 2nd and long. Smith charged into the trap, rather, in the backfield. Looked like making a play out from under the pile was Sean Olawatimi, the senior interior lineman for DeMartha.
If you're Shane Simmons and you're a Nittling Lion fan, you are jacked up right now because this guy is making a ton of plays. I'll tell you, he's really showing up right there, number 34. He is all over the place now. He's been playing on the left side, but doesn't seem to matter. He's making plays all over the place. Miami's kind of gone to more of a spread attack here. The last couple downs, trying to see if they can get their athletes in space.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Throwing deep and over the head of the intended receiver, Bland, out of the slot. And so it'll bring up 4th down and long for Central, and the punting unit will come on.
Yeah, covered up by number 7, Tino Ellis. Another guy that's well over 6 foot, good range. He's a commit to Maryland as a receiver, but a very tough physical guy who plays both ways with his DeMartha squad.
And you look at some of the upcoming games in our Geico High School football kickoff later on today.
Haven't seen so much out of the punting game so far on these two teams. A lot of Division I players, but not in the punting game.
Had to get that one off quick. Pressure came. Short kick, bounces just at midfield and takes a Central roll for another 10 yards. And they barely got that one off. Pressure on special teams for DeMartha, but the Rockets get away with a 31-yard punt.
They worked on block and punch yesterday. See, coming off the edge over here, Coach had several things up his sleeve. I was impressed. Coach Brooks had a number of blocks and things, and he really feels like he can get home and get something done in the kicking game today.
So down to less than 2.5 minutes to go. First quarter, scoreless, and a penalty and a stoppage of play.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
I'd like to see him go to the college rule in that thing, wouldn't you? Guy jumps 2 inches off sides and the ball hasn't been snapped and he gets encroached.
By the way, playing federation rules here today. Not the rules of any one particular state. Throwing downfield, looking for Turner near side. He gets it, fights his way through the defender, and he's all the way down to the 20, inside the 20, but holding his leg as he sits on the ground. DJ Turner with the long gain, the number 135 wide receiver in Maryland commit, down after making the reception, and there's a flag on the field.
Yeah, that was a tough deal right there. He's got a leg issue.
So stoppage on the play for DJ Turner, the senior receiver.
Not going to show you the replay because it is kind of graphic. It's a tough deal for DJ here. Coach said yesterday, pound for pound, he's the best player on their team. He's another Maryland commit as an athlete, plays receiver and DB. Made a nice grab after he got a ton of, could have been pass interference on that. He did a nice job bodying up and coming off that and making the play.
Turner being assisted off the field, saluted by teammates and fans. Injury timeout. Between Miami Central and DeMartha Catholic, there is Darryl Turner, DJ they call him, the senior Maryland commit, who has just been carried off the field. Had the largest gain of the game, a 39-yard pass reception, but on the tackle suffered a pretty significant looking injury to his leg. You see the stretcher at the bottom of the screen there being wheeled toward him. And play resumes now on the field with DeMartha in business at the 16-yard line.
Certainly had the advantage of field position early on. You thought at some point take a shot. Here's McFarland. This guy can really scoot.
Flag tossed in from behind. Not much going on the run for McFarland. We'll see if they're going to give up some yardage on a penalty. Actually, flags came in from both sides of the line of scrimmage there, and we'll get the call from Enrico Carpenti.
Yeah. We talked about the front for DeMartha, and on the defensive side for the Rockets, you've got Keir Thomas up inside, number 1. He's a Florida State commit. Linebacker Eric Mitchell is a Florida commit.
We have holding on the offense. That's 10-yard penalty from the point of the foul. The down stays 1.
He acted like he was offended by that. Not only was it a penalty, I was offended by that. But no, Eric Mitchell, number 8, a linebacker for the Central, 6'2", 230, committed to Florida. And then on the other side, Wayman Steed, is a Miami commit. So plenty of scholarship talent on the defensive side for the Rockets.
Counterplay going the other way. Corey Spruill into the game. 22 for DeMartha. Brought down by Malik Edwards. 44 for the Rockets. A short gain there.
Little trickeration there, a little motion. Coming back the other side with the trap play. Both of these teams. I asked Coach Brooks yesterday, what was his base run game? He said, we got it all.
Tried for the quick snap, but fumbled the snap. Now flags out. That's going to be a whole mess of things. They tried for the surprise quick snap under center. Dropped the snap. And then there was movement while they were snapping it also.
Yeah, Anthony McFarland, number 5 for the Stags, was lined up outside as a receiver. They got 2-on-1 out here. Jamel Cook's a good player, but I don't think he can cover 2 guys.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
He makes those calls with authority.
He does. He's like, he reminds me of my granddad. He's taking care of business out there. You guys knock it off. Play this game the way it's supposed to be played.
All right, so they got half the holding penalty back. And a 2nd and 15 here. You mentioned McFarland, number 5. They list him as athlete. Kind of a hybrid running back wide receiver. Now more flags, and this one's going to go against the Stags. 22 Spruill with a little pre-snap movement. The penalty giveth and taketh away.
Yeah, a few execution errors here early on in the season. Central has had a game. This is DeMartha's first official game. When you play in a game like this, you're playing on TV.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
I like it. This guy's running the show. This is my favorite official right now. Rep this guy on.
Referees at all 3 levels. Referees high school, referees major college, referees in the NFL also.
You can tell.
The game.
You can tell.
He said you try knowing all 3 of those rule books and the differences between them all at once. It's a lot of study. Lorenzo Harrison into the game now, back at running back. The Maryland commit. Picks up a nice block on the inside, but English will pull the ball down and run. Looking for the far sideline. And a late flag comes in.
Giving him the business.
Here, the sideline microphone giving you the indication of what the call will be.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul. Late hit on the offense. 15 yards from the end of the run. The down counts. Third down.
Boy, you hate those pre-snap and post-snap fouls. Yeah, that's hitting a defenseless player there. Plays over. Lorenzo Harrison.
Timeout. DeMartha.
So a little regroup timeout here. Look at some of the key rule differences between high school and college, including the length of the quarter, where they kick the ball from, and the width of the goalposts. With all of the, I'll call it mistakes here in the last couple of minutes, Hawk, you have to wonder if there was some sort of lingering effect from the DJ Turner injury on the DeMartha composure, because it had been a very cleanly played game on both teams' parts until that moment.
Yeah, you see Brooks getting them together right now. Elijah Brooks trying to get these guys calmed down and focused. Obviously, you know, it was a traumatic injury to DJ, and he's a great player, and he's, you know, part of the heart and soul of your club. So a lot of factors weighing on these young minds right now. Now, they've been the benefit of having great field position early on. Miami's really been backed up. So we'll see if DeMartha can take advantage of good field position.
As you see, the medical attention still being focused on DJ Turner. After the big game, suffered the very difficult and difficult being polite looking leg injury at the end of it. And since then, a series of penalties have set DeMartha all the way back where it's third and forever.
Third in the Atlantic Ocean.
Not much inside for McFarland. Keir Thomas was the first one to meet him. 4-star, meet 4-star.
It is very difficult to run at Keir Thomas, #1 for Central inside. He's just too big and too explosive. Got him listed as 6'3", 250. He is a lean-looking 250, I'll tell you.
They call him Pops. It's his nickname. Why? Because he's a senior. And he's kind of the guiding force on the team.
Been around forever for these guys. Played a lot of football.
So Grant Donaldson on to punt. And Jamal Hudson back again for the Rockets. As a once promising possession for DeMartha winds up twisted in a series of penalties. A quick kick to the sideline. And it will go over to Miami Central. Just about the 24-yard line. That'll do it for the first quarter. Time expires. Scoreless. Been a defensive struggle so far here in the nation's capital between #2 and #5, Miami Central and DeMartha. To start the second quarter of our Geico High School football kickoff game today between #2 Miami Central and #5 DeMartha Catholic. During the break a moment ago, TJ Turner was wheeled out of the field on the stretcher, received a nice round of applause from the fans from both teams that are here at the game today. The senior suffering that very difficult-looking injury at the end of the long play moments ago, and now being taken for further medical attention.
Pretty good crowd out here today, and a big crowd from Central showing up on the road.
Defenses have shown up today. Look at the numbers from the first quarter, and look at the penalty yards for DeMartha. Almost all that on that last drive.
You know, Alan, we always talk about defense wins championships. And when you have a really stifling defense, it's tough for good players to get loose and get into space and use their athletic ability.
So Central takes over on the 17-yard line to begin the second quarter. Thomas, hands, going far side. Smith, who came into the game on the last series, doesn't get much before he's wrapped up by Marquise Brown, the senior linebacker for the Stags.
Shane Simmons all over the place, defensive end. I think he could be a stand-up guy as well. Plays over on the left side for the Stags. 6'4", you see him get off blocks. Obviously can run. Big long arms, plays with his hands, can get extension.
Smith gets the handoff again over the left side for short yardage. When you talk about Shane Simmons, one of the things on the scouting report about him is that he could be either a defensive end in a 4-3 or an outside linebacker in a 3-4.
And I think he probably will be that. I think he'll be a stand-up guy. He can really run and he's long and rangy. He's a guy that can do a multitude of things for you and be a blitzer in pass situations, but able to drop. Very talented, and he's got a group of other guys up front that make it very physical as well.
Three receivers near side on 3rd and long for Central. Pressure, and he's not going to get away from it. The sack in the defensive backfield. A variety of Stags getting through. Sean Olawatimi and Chase Young meet at the quarterback.
Yeah, there comes Chase Young, #9. Got offers from Penn State, Michigan State, Tennessee, Maryland. Bunch of others. Little twist game up front to cut them loose. Playing cover 2 over the top. 2 deep safeties down the hash mark, so it makes it tough to get deep. You can't hang on to the ball much in this game. That's why there's a lot of 3-step early on, but some play action, bootleg. Look out now.
Jordan Edelman punting out of his own end zone. Here come the Stags. Barely gets it away, but there are whistles. And there are flags.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday where they brought the corners down inside and added an extra rusher.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Well, that'll at least get the punter out of the end zone. Coach Elijah Brooks had several different kick blocking schemes they worked on regularly yesterday in practice. He thought in a game as close as this one would be, that stealing a point or 2 might be a key to winning.
Yeah, I think he really felt like he was going to get home, meaning get to the block.
Two of the big prospects back deep for the Stags, but the ball will bounce between them. Harrison and McFarland let it roll, and it goes all the way from midfield down close to the 30-yard line, the 32. So a nice kick there for Jordan Nadelman after originally barely getting it off out of his own end zone. Dreams to move to the level after that would take them into that big stadium right next door. Scoreless into the second quarter. Alan Bestwick, Dan Hawkins as DeMartha takes over. Corey Spruill, the setback behind quarterback Bo English. In a game that's been very defensive-minded so far. Spruill into the pile, does not get far, although he continues to push for yardage. There's a helmet missing. And looks like one of the central players will have to take a step to the sideline. That will be Malik Edwards, 44, the senior left tackle.
Interesting, they've taken Jamel Cook, number 35, for Central. Matched him up. They've moving him. Normally he's a side guy, but they're playing him against number 17, Ellis from DeMartha.
He gets through the block of Ellis on the swing pass to McFarland. Slips one, but doesn't slip the second, and goes for no gain before he's forced out of bounds to set up 3rd and long. There's a good look at Jamel Cook, the senior cornerback, projected as the number 9 safety in the National Recruiting Database.
You see him playing corner up against Tino Ellis. Did a nice job. Again, missed the tackle right there. But Anthony McFarland is a very talented. This guy's got a bazillion offers from everybody in the country, and just a junior.
No fooling Keir Thomas, although I think he got a piece of the face mask as you see the flags come in, and DeMartha might get first down yardage on the penalty.
Keir Thomas is unbelievable. He dents that offensive line. There he is, number 1. He dents that offensive line every single time. 6'3", 250, going to Florida State. All you Seminole fans, hang on to your hats. You want to keep him until signing day.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, results in a first down.
Got a little sloppy with his hands, but he comes up. He's inside here. Yeah, I think he's on that side, yeah. Look at the penetration. Boom. Just a little sloppy with his hands, but he's almost unblockable now. You're also going up against an offensive line for DeMartha that's got 4 guys that have been offered.
Yeah.
Right tackle Elijah Johnson is a Rutgers commit. Victor Olatimi has had an offer. Marcus Minor, the left guard's had an offer.
Bo English offered to throw the ball down the field for DeMartha, but did not find an open receiver, and that momentary hanging on to the ball brought the pressure through that offensive line and stopped him for a loss.
Do not delay. Do not delay, young steed. Get rid of thine football, lest thee be hit.
Shalmar Hines there, the senior defensive end for Miami, going off on the substitution. 2nd down, 12. As the officials, we have a flag on the field that I have missed. I will hear about it right now.
Personal foul on the defense. Late hit after the play. 15 yards from the end of the run, results in a first down.
Well, you don't like penalties, but you really pre-snap and post-snap, they really kill you. Those are discipline issues. Those are things. Stuff happens in between, you know, during the play, but you can't have pre- and post-snap fouls. There's number 75, Terrence Davis. This young man's going to be in the Under Armour All-American game. First team All-State. Number 2 ranked guard in the country. Everybody's offered him. Very talented offensive line, so you can see.
Harrison trying to follow that talented offensive line around the right side. Gets hit by Malik Edwards, 44, for a short gain, 40 yards in penalties against the Rockets, including that last one. And Jamel Cook was the one who was most upset after the play and being calmed by his teammate, the senior defensive back, 35. A bit of room on the inside, and for the first time all day, Lorenzo Harrison finds some running daylight.
Really solid player, Maryland commit. Coach talked about him. Here's Terrence Davis over here on the left side, number 75. Doing a nice job moving a little bit high, keeping his hands inside.
Longest run of the day today. Flags come in. Look like maybe a grab on the face mask again. Harrison continues to fight. The Maryland commit, the 3-star running back. It didn't get much on that. But he's going to get some bonus yards here, I believe.
Lorenzo is not as electric as number 5, Anthony McFarland, the junior. But Lorenzo kind of just the most efficient yards after carry or yards after contact guy. Do it all, pick up blitzes. Very consistent. As I mentioned, he's a Maryland guy.
We got holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. The down stays 1.
All right. There's McFarland.
Yep.
Sorry, Hawk.
No, you're good. This guy's electric. That's why they use him all over the place. He plays out wide a bunch. He plays in the backfield as well. Tino Ellis, number 7, a receiver. You see him running across the formation there. He's a Maryland commit. Another tall. Tom Luganville and the boys talked last night about the talented receivers in this year's class nationally. And you've got a couple of them in this game today.
Look at the yardage. 1st and 25. English to throw. Intended receiver. And a flag comes in. Looking for Kellen Taylor, number 3. And it looks like Jamel Cook is going to get flagged for having a hand inside.
Yeah, a little early. Came over the top. A little slant. Yeah. Hard to plead innocence on that one.
Defensive pass interference. That's 15 yards from the previous spot. We're going to replay 1st down.
So we move the chains back. We move the chains up.
Yeah, those, like I said, penalties are brutal, and particularly the penalties that really get you, the pre- and post-snap ones. But the defensive penalties that continue drives, you know, they had them 1st and 25. Yeah. Now it's back to 1st and 10.
And you know what I'm feeling like, Hawk? We saw the little spurt of penalties on DeMartha after the DJ Turner injury. Now I'm feeling like this game, these two teams realize they're in a fist fight. They're in a football version of a fist fight. The yardage is tough. The going's tough. Every play's a battle, and a little frustration maybe setting in.
Yeah. Both these teams have an excellent chance to compete for a national championship should they win this game.
English throws near side, fighting for the ball, McFarland, but he can't come back to it, and it'll fall incomplete. Jamal Hudson was defending there for the Rockets.
Good contact early with Jamal, but I think that flag is getting wore out, so they probably couldn't keep him in the pocket for a while.
I'm thinking they might have to wash those things at halftime, get a little grass stain. Anthony McFarland tried to wrap around, curl around the defender, and come back for the ball. It was a little underthrown. So it's 2nd and 10. 25-yard line going in for the Stags.
Central playing a lot of man coverage. Pressure here.
Got the hit well in the defensive backfield. It was first contact. Eric Mitchell gets the stop. First contact was 20 Cole Williams.
Hasn't been a lot of blitz in this game. You see right there, bringing both backers up inside. Ends up being 6-man pressure. Tough to run up the middle with that.
So back to 3rd and long. 8th play of the drive. It started back on the 33-yard line.
We know DeMartha has some other tempos. Be interested to see if at some point they kind of kick it up a notch and try to go really fast.
Now I think Elijah Brooks wants to think about this one. Got the ball deep in Miami territory. Looks interesting. As does the reaction of the herd. Got the student supporter section here for the DeMartha Stags at their home field. As they face now 3rd and 12 after a timeout down at the Miami Central 27-yard line. English to throw, looking far side, corner of the end zone, a bounce, a skip, and it falls out of bounds, incomplete. It was Tino Ellis, the intended receiver, and Alan Jones, 14 for the Rockets, did a nice job defending.
Little bob and go outside, tried to fake the bob screen, little flare screen outside. Tino stuttered. Like to see him come up with that play. Alan Jones doing a nice job getting his hand inside the receiver's hand. Like to see Tino go up and use his size right there. Big old tall 6'3", 6'4" guy. Go use your hands.
Luca Fazio is the best player on the DeMartha soccer team. He's also the field goal kicker. Here's the try. Snuck it over the crossbar. The first points of the game with 5 minutes and change left to go in the second quarter. Fazio, we saw yesterday, spent all practice with the DeMartha soccer team. Then at the end went, put on his football uniform, and came over for football practice to do the kicking work with the special teams.
Yeah, and he missed the field goal session of the practice when we were there because he came in late. But coach was loving him up, and for good reason. There you go. We asked him yesterday how far he would go out. He didn't really necessarily know. Pretty good job.
43-yarder to get the first points, and a game that has shown us already that points are precious. So Luca Fazio gets it through, and it is 3-0 for the Stags.
See if they go with a pooch kick here to start this drive as well, and not give Miami Central a chance to get going. Was impressed with their special teams work yesterday when we were here watching practice.
Both teams worked on that very hard. Kalajuan Murat and James Cook back deep to receive for Miami Central. And so the first scoring drive for DeMartha, 8 plays, 41 yards. Pushed forward and back several times by penalties, and results in the 43-yard field goal by Fazio and the first points of the game.
24, James Cook, ball going to him. He is the brother of Florida State running back, Dalvin Cook.
Little slip as he tried to make a cut. The pooch kick, as you called for, will be down at the 28-yard line, and that's where Central will go to work. There is Cook.
Yeah, they've done a nice job at Florida State, obviously recruiting Central, and got a lot of good players. Jamel Cook being one of them. The highly touted corner, Keir Thomas down inside, the defensive lineman. Now again, they're committed right now, but it's going to be Mr. Toad's wild ride until the signing date. I guarantee you. That only means right now I like you best.
Now through February is an adventure every day.
Yeah.
Tell me what that's like as a coach.
It's incredible because they're getting bombed. I mean, being committed doesn't really mean anything anymore. It just means every coach starts recruiting them harder.
Yeah.
And it's a zoo. You're touching base with them every day, all the time. Social media is a big thing.
Timeout Central as they had a little difficulty getting their personnel grouping on the field. Find themselves behind on the scoreboard for the first time in this one. Separated by just a field goal in the waning moments of the second quarter. To look at the Central quarterback, Gerard Thomas, the 6'3" senior. Last season threw for over 1,584 yards, 16 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. Even caught a pass at one point. And he's looking to get something going here for an offense that has struggled to find running room and yardage against this very stout DeMartha front seven. Gonna throw outside. Off the hands of Darnell Solomon. He'll wish he had that one back. Might have had a little running room.
Try to find simple ways to get your playmakers the ball, and Darnell Solomon, 102 in the ESPN 300. Very talented player, multiple offers from all over the place. He's a transfer, comes in this year, 6'2", 205 pounds. Normally you think, well, where is that guy? Well, you've got almost 20 Division I offers in this game. It's not as easy as it looks at times.
Thomas to throw again, but under pressure, got a hold on a leg and wrestles him down on the inside. Chase Young, the junior defensive end for DeMartha.
You got D1 on D1 right here. You got Chase Young, and over here you got Devon Donaldson. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's telling now. When normally you see a guy sack the quarterback, you're going okay, but now this guy's number 55, Devon Donaldson, going to Miami. This is no chump change over. This guy's a baller. And Chase Young Just put a little wind burn on him coming off the edge. Woo.
Young rather with offers from Penn State, Michigan State, Tennessee, Maryland, among others. So the loss on the play, the second sack of the day for Young, sets up 3rd and long, and movement on the far side, the receiver for Central, and it's going to kick him back another 5 yards.
I think your among others is going to go up after this film.
Yeah.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
And Hawk, that's an interesting point, because one of the things you said to me as we were talking about the game and conversation topics, you said in this game, sometimes when you watch film of a recruit, you don't know what you're getting. You said in this one, it's tough competition.
Yeah, when they see Chase lined up against Devon and doing what he's doing, they're going to say, wow, okay. No, there'll be people looking at this film.
Empty backfield for the Rockets. Thomas to throw. Got some time. Blocked in the line. Incomplete pass. It was an incomplete pass. It was blocked in the center line, and it is blocked by Austin Fontaine, number 79, the big defensive tackle for the Stags.
Austin Fontaine, another guy Georgia offers, Penn State, Maryland offers. He's just a sophomore. You can't hitch up in this game. You need to trust your feet, take your drop, and cut it loose. If you're hanging on to the ball right now, it's basically standing in the middle of the train tracks, because something is going to hit you at some point.
So nothing on that possession for the Rockets, and they set up to punt, but a whistle, and the official all the way back here at midfield threw the flag.
Yep, 12 on DeMartha. The coach isn't going to like that.
Dead ball foul. Substitution foul on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Now, since it was, again, 4th and, what did you call it? 4th in the Atlantic for Central. But Coach Brooks talked about yesterday the troubles with the first game of the season, getting the right people on the field when they're supposed to be on the field. So Jordan Nadelman to punt. Anthony McFarland is back deep.
Not really.
Ooh. Did that get hit in the center of the line to field that ball? How about fielding that in the middle of the crowd? Everybody else is waiting for it to be down. That's Lorenzo Harrison. Does he get in? Waiting for a signal. They're signaling timeouts. Did the ball come out in the end zone? They're placing it down at the 1.
I like it. I like the guts by Lorenzo Harrison. That's why those guys are back there. It takes a special breed to be a punt returner.
He took that in the middle of a crowd. I was scared for anybody to touch that for fear of fumbling it. But yeah. Watch this.
It looked like you punted it. I thought you were in a punter there. It went so
thanks.
short. Sorry. I've not actually seen you punt. I'm just imagining. But holy, what guts. Hey, that's what D1 guys do right there, Alan. They're ballers. They make plays. They got hand-eye coordination. They can do some things.
There's a flag there as the center went tumbling backwards.
Keir Thomas demonstrating his get-off a little before the ball being snapped.
Victor Olawatimi sent flying by Thomas.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. The down stays 1.
So from 1st and a yard to 1st and a half a yard. McFarland is the deep setback. Gregory Rose, 32, is the fullback. Waiting for a signal. Finally it comes. Touchdown, DeMartha.
How about that? Just really the reality of field position. And all games, Alan, come down to 3 plays. They really do. And I know sometimes people scoff at that, but they come down to 3 plays. And we've seen a couple instances in this game, just a few, and that's what happens when you have Titans playing each other. A couple plays separated, and there's one.
So Fazio on for the point after try for DeMartha. And he kicks it through, all set up by Lorenzo Harrison, fielding that punt in a crowd, taking it down to the 1-yard line. Anthony McFarland takes it in from there. But Lorenzo Harrison, the 3-star recruit committed to Maryland, first team all-conference, who picked the ball up in a crowd.
Alan Bestwick into punt, gets it off, bounces around. That is awesome. I love that. You know, now that's one thing sometimes, but you can't play not to lose. You got to play to win. And sometimes you got to take chances, make a play. So I know it's safe to say get away, but hey, if he gets away, no touchdown right there. Now I know he didn't score, but he got him in position. That's awesome.
So Lorenzo Harrison does the heavy lifting on that one. Anthony McFarland scores the touchdown, and the point after try is good. It's 10-0. DeMartha over Miami Central with still 3:51 to go in this first half.
Back it up. Be interesting to see if Central starts moving the pocket a little bit.
James Cook and Galajawai Murat back deep. They collide, fielding the punt. Murat picks it up, but is quickly buried under at the 20-yard line by DeMartha Stags. Let's check in the studio, a preview of what's coming up in FCS kickoff. And that's later on today, plus all of our Geico high school football kickoff games on the ESPN networks through the weekend. Smith with the inside handoff, quickly met by the mass of the DeMartha defensive front as Miami Central tries to get something going, now down by 10.
Not much moving against that defensive line. You'll see all four of these cats right up in here. They're all D1 bound. Shane Simmons, Penn State. Sean Oluwatimi's got a ton of offers. Austin Fontaine, Georgia, Penn State, Maryland offers. And then we saw Chase Young last time. He's got a ton of offers as well. That's a talented D-line.
Marquise Brown, the linebacker for DeMartha, with the contact and the stop there, says Luke Kuechly is his favorite player. Short gain, brings up 3rd and long again for the Rockets.
He'd be my favorite player. There's Shane Simmons. Nittany Lion fans applaud largely and loudly and say, please, please stay with us till February.
Simmons says one of his favorite things on social media regarding recruitment is how supportive all the Penn State fans have been. Is it a catch? No, it bounces, falls incomplete. Intended on the outside for Jannard Phillips. Skips it in there.
Really nice battle going outside. These are the great fun things to see in these types of games. You had Shane Simmons against Navon Donaldson right over here. Look at this battle right close to your screen. Look at that battle. That's two heavyweights battling. Very nice job.
And so again, from deep in its own territory, Miami Central forced to punt. Jordan Nadelman, at least not standing in his own end zone this time, but he's at the 10-yard line. Remember last time on the punt, Lorenzo Harrison picked it up and brought it all the way down to the 1. Flag down on the play. They might have gotten the kicker.
This is a break that Central needs just to turn the tables, field position. I mean, we've got the Arena League Championship going on tonight, and I think we're playing arena ball here today because in 50-yard field.
We have a personal foul, roughing the kicker on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Dedrick Washington, the sophomore, looked like got a piece of Jordan Nadelman. Watch for 28.
Well, you got to keep your head up. You can't swat at the ball. That's an easy call right there.
And one of the things that coaches will tell you all the time, you got to come from the side. You got to come at an angle. Running straight on isn't going to get you anything unless you're positive you're going to get the ball. Didn't I hear that yesterday from Coach Brooks?
Yeah, you need it. Yeah. Central need a little bit of a break, and hopefully this will get it to them. They've just had such awful field position the entire game.
Out to the 42 here. Corey Roberts with the handoff, but again is met with great resistance on that far side. 55, Sean Oluwatimi gets through, the senior defensive tackle. Oluwatimi, 6'3", 298. Has had offers from Toledo, Old Dominion, among others. Undeclared so far.
Okay, so when you take your Miami commit out of the game, you put in 6'7", 350 pounds, Taj Breithoff. That's a little depth in your O-line, I think, huh?
Knocked backwards by Lorenzo Harrison on the run. But a nice gain of yardage for Corey Roberts. One of the better runs we've seen Central able to develop today, and an injury on the DeMartha side and a timeout here. Here's Oluwatimi, who just talked about making the stop on the prior play, who was down on the field for the Stags. I hope it's nothing serious.
How about Lorenzo Harrison? Playing both ways, bringing the wood right there. He's a hitter. Interested to see where the Terps end up using him, because he could play a lot of spots.
Here's a good look at Lorenzo Harrison, who is 5'8", 187, a little undersized, but the scouting report on him says that he really explodes off the line and gets a good drive behind what he does. First team all-conference in this very difficult Washington athletic conference that DeMartha plays in a year ago. And of course has the big play in this game so far for the Stags with that kick return. Good to see Oluwatimi walking off the field under his own power. Just joining us earlier in the day, had an injury to one of the top recruited players for DeMartha. DJ Turner suffered a very serious looking leg injury after making a very long pass reception and has been taken to a hospital for further medical attention. So third down for Central. Direct snap to Smith. He's got some running room, and that's the biggest gain of the day for Central. They went to the direct snap to Kewan Smith, and he gets across midfield and the deepest into DeMartha territory that the Rockets have been.
This is awesome. We had these guys last year against Hoover, and this is exactly what they did. They got 3-by-1, 3 receivers to one side, and they put a tailback in at quarterback and just ran quarterback power about 7 times against Hoover. Coach has had enough. So they're running power, pulling the backside guard, leading with the back. You get an extra blocker in a sense because he's the tailback, but he becomes the quarterback, so you gain an extra guy in the box. They did that against Hoover last year. They just kind of laid their horns back and said, here we come. I'll be interested if he stays with it.
Kewan Smith, the junior, 5'11", 190 pounds. As you look at Elijah Brooks quickly calling timeout for DeMartha, they went to the hurry up, tried to rush up to the line of scrimmage, and he said, that's okay, we'll slow it down a little bit and make sure we're organized for this particular approach by Central.
Well, the other thing you got going is DeMartha's got a ton of guys playing both ways. I mean, Tino plays both ways. Shane Simmons plays at tight end. McFarland plays back there. Lorenzo Harrison we talked about. A number of these guys are playing both ways.
Defensive coordinator Dino Campbell, been with the Stags a long time, coaching up his team. As Central is down to the 40-yard line. And again, this is the most significant drive that they've had already. You got up 10-0. You got a minute left in the first half. You don't want to give something big up here.
Yeah, really smart timeout. Okay, they knew, obviously they've watched film on Central. You're going to get in this formation and run the ball with the quarterback. Here you see they're going 3 receivers to the left, over actually into the boundary, what we call fib or formation into the boundary.
Dropped the snap, but Smith was able to fall on it. Loss of a couple of yards. Second down.
They're going to run it again. Quarterback power. This is good coaching by DeMartha. It's good coaching by Central as well. They decided, heck with it. We're just going to play old school football. DeMartha goes, I know what you're going to do. Here they do. They're going to run it again.
Gets through to the second layer, but stumbling forward, falls at the 35-yard line. Tino Ellis was the closest in the vicinity, and it brings up third down. Clock running. 45 seconds to go.
Now, you're not seeing replays here. Don't adjust your TV. I know it looks like the same play, but it wasn't.
Shane Simmons at the bottom of the pile made first contact, 34 for DeMartha. It sets up fourth down. Timeout called Central to think about this fourth and about 4 with 36 seconds to go in the half.
Try to get your highly touted receiver in here, Darnell Solomon. See what he's all about. See if you can get him lined up, make a play for you. Give him an opportunity.
Coach Roland Smith, offensive coordinator Alexander Snipes for Central. Darnell Solomon.
6'2", 205. He looks a little taller than that to me. As we said, he transferred in this year.
22 offers and undeclared at this point for the number 15 wide receiver in the Recruiting Nation database.
I don't think I received 22 letters in my entire life. He's got 22 offers. And for good reason. Hard to find receivers with that kind of size.
So here it is, 4th down. Play clock already started. They whistled the ball in play. Here comes Central. They need the 30-yard line. They've got to get the play off, too.
Look out. A little unbalanced here. We've got a tight end on the backside.
Good pursuit from behind. Who else? Shane Simmons. And they stop the Rockets on 4th down. And the ball will go over to DeMartha.
You want to know what a Division I football player looks like? Look right over here. That's what happens. There you go. Right there. Pretty athletic, long reach. Gets off the ball. Plays with his hands. Good leverage. Got his pads down.
And getting his number called a lot today. Movement, far side. Over the top of Keir Thomas. We'll see which way the flag goes.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Hey, come on, everybody's got to back up out of the box. Back up. We don't need all these people up here.
Victor Olowatimi, the center, and 56 Zach Lyons, the guard next to him, the area where the first movement happened. So 31 seconds left in the half. That was a huge stop for DeMartha where the game is concerned. Talk about a momentum swing. Shutting Central down on their deepest run. Remember, a drive kept alive by the roughing the punter penalty. Now DeMartha throwing the ball with time running out in the first half. Swing pass outside.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting decision. Up 10-0 in your own end of the field. Coach may try to launch one here. See if Tino could come up with a circus catch and make something happen before the end of half. Both guys at the top of the screen.
Bo English is the quarterback. He'll hang on to this one and head for the sidelines. Step out of bounds as time expires in the first half. Jamel Cook pursues him to the sideline. So after a back and forth, very closely contested first quarter, in the second, a field goal, then a big punt return, and a touchdown. Lorenzo Harrison taking the ball down to the goal line, and then Anthony McFarland in, and it's DeMartha 10. Miami Central, nothing. Half play. Alan Bestwick joined again by former Boise State and Colorado head coach and my partner Dan Hawkins. Hawk, tell me what you saw in the first half between number 2 and number 5.
Well, a lot of good players, not a lot of scoring, but obviously Simmons doing a great job coming off the edge for DeMartha. He's a beast. He's shown that. Shane Simmons, he's going to go to Penn State, hopefully. Tremendous. Obviously, Lorenzo Hamilton on the other side with a big run, but not many offensive stats, as we well know. It's been a defensive-dominated game. Couple of plays led to 10 points.
All right, you mentioned stats. Let's take a look at our first half stats presented by Geico.
There you see a lot of penalties, some issues on special teams. That'll kill you in early down.
A lot of penalties.
Those third downs are nothing. It's really tough to see DJ Daryl Turner get hurt. He's a big heart and soul and a great player for DeMartha as well. But got to clean up the penalties. I'll be interested to see if Miami can get something going. Maybe go trick play, take a shot downfield, try to get some things going.
And they need better field position for sure this half.
And just a couple of plays made the difference in this game so far. The big punt return by Lorenzo Harrison that put DeMartha in business on the 1-yard line of Miami Central after, Harrison fielded the punt in a crowd and took it back. A punt that you would have thought was going to be let bounce and be down, but he bravely grabbed onto the ball and took it in. That was led to the touchdown for DeMartha. And then some of the troubles that Miami Central had with the penalties and so on, leading them late in that last drive in the first half to go to the direct snap, the no quarterback look. That was the most successful thing they've done all day.
They just got in Wildcat, which is, there you see, took out the quarterback, said forget that. We're going to get 3 receivers on one side, 1 on the other. We're going to run power, which everybody in America, pull the backside guard, lead with a back, you get an extra blocker, and see what we got. And they moved the ball pretty effectively with that. I don't know if they can carry that through this whole second half. Now, as I said, interestingly enough, last year against Hoover, that's what they did, and drove it the length of the field and scored. It was pretty phenomenal. But big thing is field position for Central in this starting half, and see if we've got almost 19 guys with scholarship offers in this game, and that's why it's hard for the offensive guys to get loose, because both fronts are dominating, and they're aggressive, and a lot of great players.
So DeMartha deferred the first half. They'll get the ball to start the second. Jordan Nadelman will do the kicking. Back deep, Brenton Nelson, number 4, and Anthony McFarland, number 5, who scored the Stags touchdown from the 1-yard line earlier. That'll be Nelson from inside the 10. Looking for a seam. Looks like he tries to make a cut, slips and falls down at the 30-yard line. And that is where DeMartha will go to work for the first offensive possession of quarter number 3.
In the first half, Coach Brooks started off, took a little bit of a shot, went play action, tried to get some guys deep down the field, then backed off that a little more conservative. You saw both teams get in one back and spread it out a little bit as they felt a little bit better. It'll be interesting to see what their halftime adjustments are coming out.
The one back behind quarterback Bo English, Anthony McFarland. The number 7 running back in the junior class, declared 19 offers. And the ball. Cut back. Drops the ball, bouncing around. He'll chase it all the way out of bounds. And a loss of about 3 for the Stags on that one.
Yeah, interestingly enough, DeMartha comes out in 2 tight ends. Kind of creates an extra gap in there. It talks about chin in the ball, high and tight. Those things will get you on the sidelines in a hurry in college football. And Mr. McFarland has got a lot of offers out there for sure, but it doesn't matter where he goes, the ball leverage is going to be an important component.
McFarland has the ball again up through the center. The big rumble picks up the lost yardage on that one, met by Keir Thomas, number 1, the big star defensive end for Central.
Keir Thomas, again, this is a Florida State commit. He's 250. He's pretty lean at 250. He plays D-tackle. He just bends. He dents the offensive line every single time. He's a force now. I think if he's an SEC type guy, he may have to go on the edge and play. I don't know if he can hold up at 250 inside. Maybe in some leagues where there are spread options teams you can do that. He is such a powerful man. Look at him.
There's a throw to the outside. Simmons on the reception as tight end. He's been a star on defense all game long. This time as the tight end, he takes the short gain and bowls forward for first down yardage.
You need dudes, Alan. You need dudes, okay? Because I know the guy's a great defensive end, but he's a great athlete. So get the ball to your dudes.
And the first down conversion for the Stags. Here's Harrison back into the game at fullback. Flag on the play. Came in from the defensive backfield.
Flag is the player of the game so far, because Flag has showed up a bunch. I'm not sure of his last name, but his first name.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Isn't Flag's first name penalty? Just checking. So moving forward 5 yards, and it'll be 1st and 5 now for the Stags. Ball out across the 40-yard line. English to throw, far side, trying to streak down the sideline in the area of Tino Ellis, looking to see if there was a flag thrown in on that. Defended there on the outside by Christopher Williams, number 6, the junior quarterback for the Rockets.
Pretty good throw. Gave Tino a chance to go get it. DeMartha coming with a too tight end look, trying to create an extra gap. Got on his arm just a little bit, but you're going to see right here, you get extra gaps created inside. Not this formation, they've got out of it, but they've been in two tight ends, which creates an extra gap and some coverage issues a little bit for Central.
Harrison finds some running room inside, gains a couple, and he'll still bring up third down for DeMartha.
Over there inside.
Let's go on third down.
Yeah, trying to see who that
Looks like
was.
Victor Olawatimi. Yeah, he's
here he
big
comes.
up.
Olawatimi, the junior center.
Bringing his brother. He's out, then his brother comes in to replace him.
And he ends up on the ground, and we'll have an injury timeout for Olawatimi. Just underway, third quarter. Third down coming up for DeMartha. Ready to be attached to the right leg of the big junior center. So DeMartha comes out with a third down and short on their opening possession of this second half. Lorenzo Harrison, who had the big play of the first half to get the Stags that 10-point gap, is the setback here. English to throw, tries the short pass, inside, complete. Kellen Taylor with yards after the catch. Taylor slipped away from Jamel Cook with a nice catch and a first down for DeMartha.
Kellen Taylor, not necessarily the same accolades as Tino Ellis, but gets inside on the slant.
DeMartha comes quickly to the line. The handoff goes again to Harrison. He finds him running in left side across the first down yardage. Still going, and now he's whistled down just inside the 30-yard line. It'll be about the 26, and another first down for DeMartha.
Yeah, and you see DeMartha kicking up the tempo a little bit. The wear on Central.
Lorenzo Harrison, the number 89 running back in the nation. The ESPN Recruiting Nation database. This time a swing pass outside to McFarland. Cuts back, looking for some room outside, gets all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Anthony McFarland, and he comes up a little ginger after getting shoved out of bounds.
Looks like he's cramping up. Not so sure his elbow wasn't down there.
I was looking at that too. That was close.
Before he got going.
So McFarland comes off. Corey Sproul goes in as the setback, and it's a first down and goal for DeMartha. There's Sproul on the handoff. Flags are down. Met quickly inside. Heavy traffic there by that Rocket defensive line, and we'll check the penalty.
Really nice mix of formations and plays by DeMartha on this series. You saw there were two backs and two tight ends there, what we call 22 personnel.
And that one is going to go against DeMartha.
We didn't get a voiceover there. I really enjoyed the voiceover.
Oh, it's coming. That was just a preliminary signal.
This guy needs his own reality show. I'm loving his attitude.
We have holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the point of the foul. The down remains 1 and goal.
And I'm sick and tired of it.
It only feels like the 100th penalty of the game. And so the first and goal becomes 1st and 20 now for DeMartha. Bo English, the junior quarterback, getting the signal in from the sideline. 3 for 4 on this drive for 45 yards and a timeout for the Stags as they had a little trouble getting personnel and play call the way that they wanted it to for this play. So timeout here. This, of course, the first game of today in our ESPN Geico High School Football Kickoff. Got a lot more coming up, including Spartanburg, South Carolina. Last year's South Carolina State champs in their division. Featuring number 2, the Jamel Cook, Florida State commit.
He looks like a Florida State guy.
Getting ready for the first and goal from the 20 after the penalty on the prior play. English to throw, looks outside, got a man in some space, and a touchdown catch for Kellen Taylor.
Kellen Taylor says, I got a little something for Darnell Solomon.
Beautiful exhibition of pitch and catch from Bo English to Kellen Taylor, the 6'5" senior who also plays and has college offers in basketball. He gets the touchdown there, and now the point after try coming up by Luca Fazio.
We always talk about the drive coming out of the half. Did you come to win? And that's a key thing. You take that kickoff return and you drive and you score, that's a big deal.
Fazio punches the point after try through, but here's the key play. English to Taylor. English 4 for 5 on that drive, 65 yards of passing, and the 20-yard touchdown grab by Taylor puts the Stags up 17 on the number 2 Central Rockets. Number 5, DeMartha Catholic leads the number 2 team in the country, the Miami Central Rockets, by 17 here in the third quarter. Alan Desmond, Dan Hawkins, beautiful drive just engineered by Stags quarterback Bo English. 9 plays, 75 yards, capped by a 20-yard touchdown pass. And so now if you're Central and you are their head coach, Roland Smith, you're down by 17.
It's going to be a character test.
James Cook with the ball. Nice cut, still on his feet. Finally knocked out of bounds. Good field position out at the 40-yard line for the Rockets to start this possession.
Central's got to move the pocket a little bit. Give Thomas a little chance to throw. I think you've got to get Darnell Solomon involved on some level, even if you're taking a few shots. There's players on the other side, but you've got one of the top wideouts in the country playing there. Need to give him an opportunity to get going. Now, they went with a Wildcat package at the end of the half. I'm not sure down 17 you can do that, but coach may want to make a statement right here to his team.
It's Darnell Solomon you look at. Solomon, the number 15 wide receiver in the Recruiting Nation database, number 102 in the ESPN 300. Watch the guy with the green gloves to see if he can get his hands on the ball and make a difference for his team.
Here comes your statement.
Direct snap again to Kowan Smith. Short yardage off the right side.
Smith said enough about scheme. We're just going to line up, run one play here. You guys are going to block it right. We're going to go full speed. See if we can't get a touchdown. Oh.
Anticipation and cramp.
I guess if you're going to be offsides, you might as well go with the cramp thing.
Lorenzo Harrison trying to stretch out.
Given as many snaps as he's played, I can see why.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And the injury timeout for Harrison as he remains down on the field.
Bring on the pickle juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring out the pickle juice.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay.
It's funny, you talk to guys about hydrating and what it takes and how much they need to drink, and you know, nobody drinks as much water as they should, but certainly these athletes, I mean, they've got to be really, you know, drinking over half their body weight in ounces every day of water.
Forecast high for later this afternoon, 87 degrees here in the nation's capital. This actually a day that's not as humid as it can get in this area at this time of year. And you see Harrison up and running off. Missed 5 games last season after breaking an elbow, but is 100% healthy for the start of this season, according to his coach, as he comes off the field after 2015 Arena Bowl.
That game's going to be about 75 to 72, I think.
Around the right side, clipped and brought down Kawan Smith, but not until he gets first down yardage. Cole Williams, 20 for DeMartha, was the one that got the hand on him, but they move the chains and get to midfield.
Old school ball.
Yeah.
Hey, slide it this way.
Run the same play over and over.
Going the other way.
Now Smith goes out, and Kamashawan Murat comes in, 15. Has the ball and has company quickly. Once again, Cole Williams and Marquise Brown, number 40. He's been very active today, the senior linebacker for the Stags.
Well, if Luke Kuechly's his favorite player, he's doing a nice job emulating because all they do is make plays.
Yeah. James Cook back in, along with Corey Roberts. Cook with the inside cut, rumbles across midfield, makes up the loss on the prior down, but it still brings up 3rd and long. And Brown once again on the stop for DeMartha.
Nothing real fancy about it. Kind of down to the basics of football. Blocking, tackling.
And when you're in this kind of offense, it's 4-down territory. Period.
DeMartha running the 4-2-5, popularized by Gary Patterson down at TCU.
Oh, missed the snap. Did a nice job to pick the ball up and keep from losing any more yards. Here's a flag coming in at the end of the play. Another flag. And we'll see which way that goes and affects the outcome of things here.
Yeah, not a bad snap. Just took his eyes off it.
Can't find the hole before you have the ball, right? That's going to go against Central.
Got to see if they want to take it or not.
Yeah, referee Enrico Carpenti making sure that DeMartha knows it'd be 4th down.
See, that's good officiating. He's thinking, hey, if I'm a coach right here's 4th down, I'm not taking this penalty. So he's making sure he gets it straight with the coach.
We have an illegal block in the back on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So 4th and very long. Elijah Brooks seeing his defense do a nice job standing up to Central. And Roland Smith, the coach for Miami Central, who's won the state championship the last 3 straight years. Not seeing much go right for his team today. Nice grab on the high snap by punter Jordan Nadelman. Ball bounces off a Central player, is fielded somewhat precariously just around the 30-yard line by Andrew Robertson. And he gets quickly knocked to the ground, but maintained possession of the ball. DeMartha leads 17-0. DeMartha leading number 2, Miami Central. DeMartha with the ball on a 1st and 10. The handoff to Corey Sproul, left side. He's got room. He's across midfield. It's a foot race. He's finally tracked down and caught by Christopher Williams. But deep into Central territory are the Stags.
That big offensive line, DeMartha's starting to wear on Central a little bit. That's why I said these games, they build a little character. Give Central credit. Boy, they go on the road all the time to play tough teams.
Corey Sproul, the 5'11 junior, who wears number 22 because Evan Smith is his favorite athlete.
Simple zone play out of the pistol. Good cut, good push. A lot of bodies on the ground up front. Keir Thomas, not the usual player on that play that he normally is.
And an injury timeout here as Natron Grayson is helped off the field for Central. As he went down behind the play. You see him heading off under his own power.
Come on, let's go 7-5.
Well, 38 yards on that one for Corey Sproul. And this one has tilted heavily in the favor of the Stags now. Spool back on here behind quarterback Bo English, as it's 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for DeMartha. Spool with the swing pass. Flag comes in. He's got the first down, but we'll check the penalty. I have a feeling that one might come back. Let's see, this is the 18th accepted penalty.
We have holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the point of the foul. The Dow stays 1.
Wow. We have a term called FaceTime in television. That's the time that your face is on camera. Our referee today has gotten more than his share of FaceTime.
He's got his own reality TV show, and deservedly so.
Clock running down to 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Stags now facing that 1st and 18. And English to throw. Under pressure, pulls it down. Looking for blockers. The nice cutback. Look at him go. Reaching for the goal line. And the quarterback with the scramble for a touchdown. For Bo English. And DeMartha's blown this one wide open.
When you play man coverage on the back end, you typically don't have a guy assigned to the quarterback. So a lot of backs were turned. And once Bo got through,
and now Fazio for the point after kick. Whistle, somebody was a little early across the line from the far defensive end on Central.
We always talk about rushing the dots or rushing the lanes, and you've got to be able to keep leverage on a quarterback.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. Half the distance to goal. We tried the point.
Not the day that Roland Smith was looking for out of his Central Rockets today. So Fazio will have to try it again out of the hold of Bo English. Fazio knocks that one through. Had a 43-yard field goal earlier in this one. He's been perfect on his point after tries, but the star of the drive on this one was quarterback Bo English, the 6'1", 190-pound junior who just rumbled 38 yards to the end zone.
Does a nice job running right in there. You see Central kind of voids out the pass rush lanes, and in man coverage, all the DBs have turned their head and covered their man. Central wearing out a little bit here in this game. Obviously, momentum's a big factor.
Picked up a block here from Hamilton Day, running back down the field.
Good cutback, hang on to that football, leverage that ball. Good desire at the end.
A big offensive surge here in this third quarter for the Stags. The first quarter was a stalemate. Neither team did anything on offense. DeMartha got something going in the second quarter, and now in this third, it has been all the guys in the gray shirts. Central looking for a special teams play. James Cook with nice return yardage there. Gets the ball out close to midfield. With a lot of happy guys on the near sideline wearing those gray shirts as number 5 is up 24-0 on number 2. And a DeMartha player down behind the play on the kick. Miles Olafemi is down, and you see him being attended to by the DeMartha staff. Starting to see a lot of cramping on this hot day and first game of the season.
It's very hard to catch up on your hydration early on. There's Keir Thomas having a tough day.
You know, one of the storylines coming into this season for Central, they'd won 3 straight state championships in 4 of the last 5, and they really set their goals on a national championship this year. Well, the national championship in high school football is kind of like it used to be in college football a little bit with the polls and you know, and you take this big challenge taking on number 5 in the first game of the season, and it's really a lopsided score, and it's going to be a big regroup job for Roland Smith and his coaching staff to get this team ready, because their schedule is not an easy one going forward.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, they're not a stranger to going on the road and playing. They've done this before, and give them credit. They're not afraid to go and play in somebody else's place. So they'll be fine. They'll regroup.
So the quarterback Thomas back in the game. Sorry, Hawk. 16, the senior. And he's been off the field for the last little while they've gone with the Wildcat. Hands off quickly inside, quickly hit. Austin Fontaine, big number 79, is through quickly for the Stags. And a player down in the center of the pile also.
You see a lot of pressure inside, trying to run power. A little twisting and stunning inside, which has given Miami a little bit of problem.
And that is Shane Simmons, who is down, who has been all over the field. The Penn State commit, the number 4 ranked defensive end in the Recruiting Nation database, cramping up a little bit. We talk about, as a coach, recruiting well at home being a big deal, right? Well, both Penn State and Maryland hit this area really hard, and they've both done really well with players in this game.
Yeah, there was a little tit for tat there on, I think Coach Franklin was trying to claim Maryland as a home turf, so Terps took a little offense to that. But you can see Coach Franklin's done a nice job coming in there and stirring the pot and turning that thing around and getting their scholarships back to full strength.
And Shane Simmons leading the charge, as you've seen him all over the field on this day, both at tight end and primarily at defensive end. And he'll take a play or 2 off here to get stretched back out and hydrated. 2nd and 12. Little running room for Cook off the right side. Stopped at midfield by Lorenzo Harrison, who has been a star on both offense and now defense for DeMartha.
Popping going on. These guys are bringing the wood. A physical game on both sides.
As expected. Right? Watching Cook here, who's carried the ball quite a few times. 24, the setback for Miami Central. This time Thomas is going to look to throw deep downfield. Can he get to his big receiver Solomon? And he cannot. And number 7 continues to not see many touches of the ball today.
Tough. Thomas under pressure. Got to get rid of it. You'd like when you get single coverage, nobody in the middle, you just give your guy an opportunity to make a play. Get the ball up. Don't overthrow him, even if it becomes a jump ball. Give Solomon an opportunity to at least touch it and make a chance, make a play with his size.
So it's 4th down and 9 here. Late player coming onto the field for Central. Thomas to throw, not before he's cracked in the backfield and dropped solidly. And coming through, Chase Young drops the Central quarterback, and the ball will go over on downs to DeMartha. Exclamation point on the day for the Stags right there.
You've got 4 Division I players in that D-line. Tough to block them all. He's down in here. They've been running a lot of twists. See right there, TE doesn't get picked up. They've been running that twist a bunch. Chase Young, as we mentioned, got a bunch of offers. He transferred in here as well. Now you might want to, he's a Penn State offer as well. Maybe they just get both of them and take care of their D-end issues there in the Happy Valley there.
And as much as we've talked about Simmons today, that's the 3rd sack of the day for Chase Young. And so the ball goes over to DeMartha, who takes over inside the 40-yard line of Miami Central. English throwing, far side, got a man free. McFarland couldn't pull it in.
He's going for the knockout. McFarland had such a nice dimension. He can do a lot of things. You'd see him maybe fitting in an offense where they don't necessarily change personnel with formations, because he's so adept at getting outside as a receiver and then can walk right in like he's doing now and play tailback.
Confusion in the central backfield here on assignments. Now it looks like they get everybody where they want them. And English to hand off. McFarland with the ball. Cuts back. Eludes a block. Little stumble, and then he's tracked down by Jamal Hudson, and it'll be about a 5-yard gain for Anthony McFarland and set up third down.
Even that play does not look like much, but given how much speed is on the field, the fact that he can go get 4 or 5 out of that play is really phenomenal.
McFarland gets a breather on the sideline. Spruill is in the backfield spot, and it's 3rd and 6. And a whistle. And it will become 3rd and 10 here. 10 and a half or so after the penalty.
Could we get a series without penalties?
We have a dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
It hasn't trended that way so far. Coach Brooks not happy about that one.
Fatigue factor setting in here. Take a look at this Miami defense. There's a lot of hands on the hips right now. And obviously mojo is part of any sport, any endeavor. It's particularly big in high school. You're dealing with younger guys. But I think that's the beauty of sport too, is just some character moments of hanging in there when things are tough and learning to thrive in adversity. That's part of the message of a good sporting program.
3rd down, English throws, looking outside, and a nice grab by Andrew Robertson. Pulls it in at the 20-yard line, and they'll move the chains. What a throw, what a catch.
Yeah, really nice job getting his hands around, catching that thing with his forefinger and his thumbs together. Your strongest 4 fingers. Good technique. Watch his hands turn around right there. Good, strong hands, tapping down, staying in.
DeMartha tried to get up to the line quick and get a playoff. Miami didn't have the right personnel on the field, and so Coach Roland Smith calls timeout for Central. We're talking about recruiting at home earlier. We showed the Penn State recruiting class. You mentioned the Maryland folks maybe needing a little fight back. Well, Randy Edsel and his group certainly have, particularly with these DeMartha players.
Yeah, Mike Loxley coming back home here has done a nice job helping Randy with that, and they're picking some guys up. You see that. You didn't see that a few years ago. And hey, at the end of the day, you got to have some creatures. You got to have some dudes. You got to have some playmakers. And we're seeing a bunch of them out here today. And it always bodes well, I think, for the hometown team when those kids believe in what's going on and want to go there and play.
There is Tino Ellis, one of those Maryland commits. The number 67 wide receiver in the Recruiting Nation database. And a scouting report on Ellis saying that he explodes off the line and can get through a press cut. And they call him raw but talented, and a lot of room for growth.
Yeah, and he's a guy that plays both ways. He's physical. He'll hit you. You like that. He's going to be a good special teams player as well. I know they all just want to be a receiver, but you might have 1 or 2 guys, that's all they get to do. Everybody else has got to contribute in a big way. But nice to know you could play him on defense. He could contribute on special teams. He could be physical in the perimeter screen game.
And we also like about Tino that he lists his favorite TV show as College Game Day.
Or why wouldn't you?
First down, nothing much going inside for Anthony McFarland. Met by Malik Edwards, 44 for Central.
Trying to stay with a simple zone scheme.
Edwards, the senior defensive tackle, 6'1", 230. And a 2nd down and 11 for DeMartha.
That's where I always tell you guys, start fast, finish strong. I know it always sounds corny, but that's really what it's all about. And I know you want to come here and win and be the national championship, get that. But just play. Just keep playing until the end of the whistle and see what happens.
English throws, touchdown pass to Andrew Robertson. And everything now clicking for the Stags offense. Robinson, the senior, into the end zone for another time and roll the scoreboard with still a minute 43 to go in the third quarter. Who saw this coming?
How about Bo English showing up at quarterback? We talked about him earlier in the game. He must have got mad. I was up there saying, you know, usually these games got the feature quarterbacks, not necessarily, but really showing up well. He's just a junior. He's still developing.
Fazio remains perfect on his point after tries. Now the Bo English passing connection to Andrew Robertson clicks again.
Simple seam route, nobody home. Robertson does a nice job getting a little stick, getting inside. English doing a good job up against Robinson. Roped, got no underneath coverage. Good little stick move to get open, and really nice ball by Bo English.
Every time you see one of these matchups, most times it goes to form, but sometimes it doesn't. And who thought between number 2 and number 5 today that you'd get a score as lopsided as this?
Well, we've all seen games. Sometimes it's happened in Super Bowls, but you have so much emotion that when the balloon gets popped, it gets popped big. And a lot riding on this game, and you struggle a little bit. But give DeMartha a ton of credit. They come out of the tunnel in the second half, took the kickoff. Nice job mixing up their formations and plays, and really putting together the first drive of the game to get that touchdown and really create some momentum.
Kamajuan Murat looking for some running room. Cuts back, far side. Finally caught up to at the 45, dragged down at the 47-yard line by Lorenzo Harrison, and that's where Central will take over on this possession. Well, this is just the first of many games today in the Geico High School football kickoff. Coming up in a little bit, you are going to see Spartanburg and Wakulla. Then the Battle of Ohio coming up later on. Benedictine and Central Catholic. Good one down in Texas. DeSoto and Arlington Martin. And it all concludes later on tonight when we see games involving Bishop Gorman and Chandler, Arizona, and De La Salle, California against Trinity, Texas. Lots of good football still to come today. So quarterback out. Nope, that's Thomas. Going to throw under duress. And they'll call receiver in the area. And Miles Olafemi was the one that was applying all the pressure for the DeMartha Stags. Olafemi's dad was a soccer pro in Nigeria. Said he wants to be an orthodontist eventually in his career.
Nice. I like it when guys think big, think beyond ball a little bit. Ball's good, but doesn't last forever. It's good to have a little something else going there.
There you go.
Blitzing again.
Thomas throws it up. And a lot of bodies rolling around, but the ball falls incomplete. Intended for Jamel Cook on the far side.
Trying to get him involved on offense. Normally the defensive stalwart.
And so 3rd down and 10 for Central. And really, I'm really surprised the big guy in the bright green gloves near side, Darnell Solomon, just has not had his hands on the ball all day. They've not been able to get it to him. Throw away again to the far side. That'll once more be Cook. He'll have the completion. He'll be just shy of moving the first down sticks, and it'll bring up 4th down and short for Central. Again, Cook, the senior, the 9th-ranked safety in the ESPN Recruiting Nation database, as so many players do in these high school games, playing both sides of the ball. Sometimes special teams also.
Well, you mentioned Darnell Solomon not getting much opportunity, and again on that back end, you know, as you mentioned, Tino's been playing back there. Tino Ellis, Lorenzo Harrison, Daryl Turner before he got injured.
Back to the Wildcat look for Central on 4th and short. It's Corey Roberts in the backfield, 22. Here he comes, straight ahead. Slips through, and he'll have first down yardage for Central. They move the chain. Shane Simmons on the stop for DeMartha. Mark another tackle up for the big defensive end, but they'll move the chains here for Central, something they haven't had great success doing most of the day today. Thomas, the quarterback, back into the game. There's Shane Simmons. He and Chase Young, the defensive ends for DeMartha, have been hard to handle as they get pressure again on Thomas. He scrambles, he throws one up in the end zone. It'll fall incomplete. Cook was in the area, as was Carloni Green, but none able to come up with the ball.
Coming down here from the edge, you get a lot of pressure. You've got an unbelievable front, really, for DeMartha. I mean, you know, we've talked about Chase Young, number 9, Austin Fontaine, 79, Sean Oldham, Timmy, 55, and Shane Simmons, 34. All those guys got offered. Now they play an odd front this time. They're going to drop 8. This could be a
tipped and intercepted. Olafemi with the ball. Far sideline is going to be wrapped up and caught at the 28-yard line.
Hey, the play of the day was by Navon Donaldson right there. 6'5", 330, running down to stop that interception being returned for a touchdown. That was incredible.
Got some flags on the field.
Watch the big man come rumbling back in here. Look at him. That's a large man. That's 330 pounds, folks.
DeMartha has been issued a sideline warning. DeMartha has been issued a sideline warning.
All right, so a little exuberant celebration on the interception return that puts the Stags back in business with still 8 seconds to go in the quarter.
A lot of twisting and stunning and movement. Hamilton Day with a tip there. Also another defensive end. Yeah, it's tough for Central. You like to see them kind of get something going just to build on a little bit. Getting on the plane out of here.
Corey Sproul carries into the heart of the line. Hit, wrapped up, and dropped there. As time runs out in quarter number 3. A quarter that has belonged to the home team thoroughly on both sides of the ball. The Stags rolling on the scoreboard 31-0 over the second-ranked team, the Miami Central Rockets. It's all DeMartha as we reach the end of 3. 5 DeMartha. DeMartha Catholic High School, Hyattsville, Maryland, just outside of the nation's capital. And the home team is all over the number 2 team in the country. Ball's on the ground as we start the 4th quarter. On the way back with it, Eric Mitchell for Miami Central. Rolling, rumbling inside the 30-yard line. One of the first mistakes all day for DeMartha. And Central is going to have the first glimmer of hope that it's had in a long time, deep inside DeMartha territory.
Good for them, because they've not had many breaks for sure in this game. They had poor field position in the first half. And momentum has certainly not been on their side. Big plays will fuel your energy. Just never quite got the handoff. McFarland wasn't sure where it was. Hot potato, it's a rattlesnake. Who's got it?
Rumbling back the other way, the 6'2", 220-pound senior Eric Mitchell with a 42-yard fumble return. So trailing 31-0. Here comes Central. Back out with the Wildcat look. Corey Roberts will be behind. Now Thomas comes in, the quarterback also. he's going to throw. Going to have to pull it down and run. Caught from behind by a trio of Stags. Rand Donaldson, number 30, in on the stop for DeMartha. And a nice gain there after Thomas had to pull the ball down and go under pressure. DeMartha still trying to figure out their defensive set as the ball was snapped. Pass intended near side for Jernard Phillips, and it goes over his head and falls incomplete, and now a flag comes in late.
Yeah, they're going to call Robbie Robinson for that. I think he kind of gave him a shot and a little extra celebration. Don't know what the verbal part of it was, but he was going to let the hit go, but then maybe a little chatter afterwards. Didn't go so well.
After the play, we have a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Half the distance to the goal results in a first down.
Arm around in the chat from Coach Elijah Brooks on Robbie Robertson. Can't do that.
I don't know if he went for the infamous throat slash there or not. I couldn't really tell. It was kind of quick. I don't know if it's something he said or...
Corey Roberts with the inside handoff. It's what it looked like to me, although it was from behind there on the replay. Sean Oluwatimi and Austin Fontaine on the stop there. Two of the big inside linemen for this DeMartha defense that has been so stifling today to Central.
Well, again, part of this whole deal is you want to teach character, you want to win with class, you want to lose with class. You know, keep battling, keep playing.
Incomplete call there. Much to the consternation of Jernard Phillips.
Jernard is not liking that at all.
Watch the sideline here.
Oh, nice work by Crew. Way to go, camera guys.
Third down. Thomas throws, finally with a touch on the ball, but he couldn't hang on to it. Darnell Solomon, incomplete, heading for the pylon in the end zone, and it'll bring up fourth down for the Rockets.
So they're going to kick the field goal here, try to get some points, and avoid the shutout.
So fourth down and 9. The field goal kicker is Jordan Nadelman. Out of the hold of Jernard Phillips. Nadelman, a freshman. Ooh, sees it blocked. And it's picked up and it's going back the other way. Tino Ellis has the ball for DeMartha, and he's going to take it to the house. Yards on the blocked field goal return after Nadelman's 27-yard attempt was stuffed.
A lot of push, Austin Fontaine. He blocked out the sun on that one. I think he was such a big presence. Tough day for the Rockets.
Fazio's point after try is again good, and the scoreboard rolls once again 38-0. I think that look from Coach Smith was, what else can go wrong? Well, your field goal try to get your first points of the day can be blocked and returned 82 yards. 82-yard blocked field goal return for a touchdown. And the home opener for the number 5 team in the country is going to be a resounding victory for Elijah Brooks and his staff today. Talked to Coach Brooks yesterday, and he said, you know, we wouldn't schedule a game of this kind if we didn't think we had the athletes to compete. Felt like the first 4 minutes were something critical to his team. It was the first quarter, really. It was a back-and-forth defensive struggle. Neither side got anything going. But then DeMartha got it going, leading 10-0 at the half, and it's been all them ever since. Kick return. And 22 Corey Roberts there. He'll bring the ball out to just outside the 35-yard line, and that's where Central will go to work. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but want to expound on it a little bit here, Hawk. You're looking at this game. You're a recruiting coordinator. You're a coach for one of these major colleges that's interested in these Central kids, and you want to see what out of them in the remaining 10 minutes of this game.
You want to see guys that compete, don't quit, stay after it, keep playing. Those things certainly mean something. The character and fiber of your club.
Pass near side to Green. He's wrestled to the ground, out of bounds after a short gain. Bring the ball out to the 41-yard line, about 5 yards there. Brent Donaldson on the stop, number 30 for the Stags.
It's tough because really the game is so far out of control at this point. You understand certain emotions, and but you love to see guys who are just going to keep playing.
Near side, Jernard Phillips again with a short pass, but it'll be good enough for first down yardage and bring the ball out to the 48-yard line. And if you're Roland Smith on the far sideline, you're looking at this scene on your bench behind you. Kids that are used to winning, kids that came here and expected to win. And you're having to tell them, hey, this game's not over. You got to go out there and you got to show the country what this team will do. We got to show we'll fight till the end.
Yeah, I think it's all about competing. It's all about starting fast and finishing strong. It's all about your philosophy. It doesn't matter. People talk about win the day and be a champion today and chase greatness daily, or whatever your slogan is, but that's really what it's about. And it sounds corny, but okay, you're here, you got on a plane, you flew a long ways, you got 9 minutes left in this game. Let's just compete, let's play, let's operate, let's block people, catch the ball, do what we're supposed to be doing, do what we've done in practice. Don't let it all go sloppy.
And it's kind of like one of these college teams that has hopes of being in the college football playoff, as Thomas has nowhere to go and will be dropped for loss. And you get into one of these big matchups, I think like Alabama-Wisconsin that's coming up this week, or one of these big open-the-season matchups. Ohio State a year ago, losing to Virginia Tech at the beginning of the season. Well, you've still got your district title and the state championship to play for and try to play your way back into the national championship conversation if you're Central.
Yeah, they've got plenty of big games left, and they got an opportunity to continue their run as a dominant championship force in the state of Florida. Plenty of things to play for. It's hard to go undefeated. Some teams do, but okay, so you played a great team early, and it didn't go so well.
Nice job of regrouping there and getting the ball out by Thomas. Gets it near side to Carmoni Green, and they'll gain some positive yardage on the play, though not much. It will set up fourth down for the Rockets.
Hey, guess what? You know, we talk about the next level and the next step, and these guys are playing against people that are going to be playing at the next level every down, and you don't see that every day in a high school game. And so it's part of what they're going to see. They're going to have to compete at practice, and clearly they're going to have to compete every Saturday because there's not going to be many slack days, and they're not going to play against guys that aren't very good. They're all going to be good.
Deep down the field, looking for Cook. And there are flags deep in the defensive secondary.
I think he's going to go with pass interference there.
And so they will move the ball and move the chains.
Defensive pass interference. 15 yards from the previous spot results in a first down.
Our referee hasn't lost any of his energy in the fourth quarter of a
I love that guy. That's my
game.
favorite official in the history of officials. Yeah, I don't know.
Tino Ellis there, a little contact altering the runner's route, maybe.
Yeah. Easy up here from the booth, that's for sure.
Keno Mike now, number 3, is the setback in the back. Tipped. Couldn't pull in the interception. Looked like miscommunication there between Trayvon Brinson and the quarterback, Gerard Thomas.
Try to keep those balls in the middle field from the shoulders down. You start getting up around the face.
I think that was actually
batted and picked.
Sorry about that, Hawk. I think that was actually Jamel Cook, 35, that was raising his white-gloved hands in the air, saying, "Huh? What?"
Good to see Jamel getting some work over there on offense.
Yep. Highly recruited for being a defensive back. Here's the pass out near side. Caught. Kamani Carter. Forward progress will gain him about 4 yards and take the ball down to the 28-yard line. Set up 3rd down. Carter, a senior, 6'1", 185-pound wide receiver for Miami Central.
DeMartha playing soft quarters, 4 deep, essentially giving up the hitch. They just don't want a quick score. Hey, at this point, I think it's good for Miami just to complete balls and move the thing down the field, try to get a touchdown here. Feel good about something getting on the plane.
Touchdown catch there. Gernard Phillips. Gerard Thomas hit as he let go of the ball, but Phillips with the catch in the end zone, and Central is on the board for the first time today.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. Good to see guys have a little success.
Thomas took a pop when he let that ball go.
He's going to have a few bruises. He needs going to have to get the flight attendant to get him a few bags of ice rolling up and down that aisle, because he's been banged around a little bit today.
Jordan Nadelman on for the point after try. There is Gernard Phillips, the junior wide receiver. You know, an interesting thing for this Central team also, when you look at the players who got most of the offensive production for them last year, has been a big turnover at those positions, though they're loaded again with senior talent. But it has been a tough start to the season on this day here in the nation's capital. Watch the pop Thomas takes. Bang! But gets the ball off. And Gernard Phillips takes it in the end zone for a 28-yard score.
My man Terry Malley, offensive coordinator for the SaberCats. Like I said, I think those guys, it's incredible to see the scores of those games. It's amazing.
Terry Malley has been with the SaberCats for
a long time. He's at San Jose State for a little bit, but yeah, he's been there a long time.
They are a perennial power in the AFL. Nice 9-play, 64-yard drive, capped by the 28-yard touchdown pass to Gernard Phillips, and Central on the board. 7.5 to go in this 4th quarter. The onside kick try. Ball is rolling around, but it is fielded by the Stags, who have had to use just about every one of the special teams plays they practiced yesterday today. Kellen Taylor with the hands team reception for DeMartha. Look at the Big Ten class of 2016 and who is committed to go where so far. And the ranks of them, of course, Ohio State and Urban Meyer looking like they're going to continue to reload.
Yeah. You see the Nittany Lions creeping up there, and yes, the Big M. Coach Harbaugh getting it going.
New quarterback for DeMartha, Tyler Lenhart, is into the game. He is sophomore, and we'll begin to see a lot of the second team try to run out the clock in this one for the Stags with the big lead. And you talk about national championship aspirations, so DeMartha and Coach Elijah Brooks come in and, you know, schedule big, play in a tough conference, and a big momentum game for them, which is only going to help them because next week they have to go down to South Florida and play American Heritage Plantation, who beat IMG last week to move themselves. Big upset. IMG number 2 at the time as a penalty flags on the field. Knocked IMG from number 2 down to number 22.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Moved Heritage into the top 25.
I'm laughing. I want this guy to be in the top 10. I'm telling you, I love the way he calls the game. It's awesome. Want him in the top 10.
Henry hands off, a little bounce off tackle. It's Peterson Joseph on the carry for the Stags as we get a little deeper into the depth chart. So talking about next week, the Stags have to get on a plane, go to South Florida, play Heritage. Never an easy game as they continue to try and find a way to be in the conversation for the national championship at the end of the season. That's before they even get on to their regular season. We'll have one of their regular season games from here again when they play Gonzaga later in the season on our ESPN high school football coverage.
Part of the fun a little bit for these guys, they get to fly around, see other parts of the country. Again, sport is more than just the actual game, but the opportunity to experience other places and travel and do some things you normally wouldn't do. Of course, you live down there. Everybody wants to go to Florida, but you know, how many times will a guy from Miami Central make his way up to the nation's capital?
Well, it's certainly some great high school football all around. And this area, the conference, very strong, of course, down in Florida. The recruiting hotbed. Interesting recruiting down there also with Florida State, of course, Jimbo Fisher and his gang. And now the new staff in at Florida. Al Golden and his bunch down in Miami. Fumbled kick return there. And it will be held on to by the Central Rockets. And that's not even to mention people like FAU and UCF and USF all trying to get their hands on as many of these top recruits as they can out of a team like Central. Jamal Hudson down after the kick return. Here at the shadow of FedEx Field, some call it FedEx Aux. It's Marvin Wilson Stadium, the home field of the DeMartha Stags. Miami Central takes over the ball, trailing 38-7 to DeMartha. The matchup between numbers 2 and number 5, very much in favor of the number 5 team today. It was 10-0 at halftime. Third and fourth quarters have been all DeMartha, and now the clock stopped at 5:46 to go in this one. Gerard Thomas, the quarterback for the Miami Central team, who was throwing the ball a lot in the last series, handing off to Keno Mike here. It's been a tough day for the Central offense because the DeMartha defense has been all over it.
Chase Young, Shane Simmons, take your pick. Too many guys to name. Under attack all day long. 3 sacks by Chase and relentless pressure. Never really had an opportunity to get in a rhythm at all.
Quick third down handoff. Nothing much gained there for Central. And our Geico MVP will be the junior defensive end, Chase Young, considering offers from Penn State, Michigan State, Tennessee, Maryland, and others. 3 sacks on the day, and one of that band of Stags who kept the pressure on the Central offense.
Good to see a defensive guy get it. And again, a lot of talent on Miami's team, Miami Central, and they certainly held them in check the entire game. And that front 4 of DeMartha is spectacular. And really, their front 7, Marquise Brown had a big day as well inside playing middle linebacker. But Central comes in with a really talented front 7, and DeMartha said, "Hey, we play a little football in Maryland too."
It's Miles Canton back to receive the Jordan Nadelman punt. A little last-minute personnel adjusting on the part of Central. Maybe just going to let the play clock run out too and bleed as much of this one away as they can. They're still putting people on the field.
We're playing high school quarters timing, but I think we're going to go into oh, there we go.
Nice punt by Nadelman. And Canton with the fair catch. Little contact there, but not significant contact, and the flags will stay off the ground on that one. And DeMartha will take over the ball at its own 36-yard line. Nadelman had the field goal, had a punt that was nearly blocked that he barely got away out of the end zone earlier, and then had the field goal blocked. And it's been a difficult day for the freshman kicker and all of the Central team, as for that matter, as DeMartha has well handled business on this one in the nation's capital.
Fun to see the big guys show up, though. Obviously, yeah. Chase Young, a young guy, getting a lot of attention. Shane Simmons, Under Armour All-American guy. Had a big day for them as well. The major players, Lorenzo Harrison, Tino Ellis, big days. Hopefully DJ Daryl Turner, serious injury. Hopefully he recovers from that well.
That happened earlier. One of the star players for DeMartha with a very significant-looking leg injury and taken to the hospital after having his leg put in a cast. And we wish Turner very well and a speedy recovery from whatever the extent of the injury is. So a lot of the second team in now for the Stags. And the first-teamers left to savor what will be a very hard-earned win in a 5-versus-2 matchup on their home field to open the season. Not much going around the near side for Washington. So 3 minutes to go here. And if you're Elijah Brooks, and your takeaway from this one is going to be?
Really solid start. Got a good team. Really nice to see his quarterback come on and make some really good plays. Very concerned about DJ. What his future health is going to be. He's going to leave a hole inside of both sides of the ball here.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
And remember, there's a point in the first quarter of this one, after the injury to Turner, that DeMartha looked a little disorganized and a little chippy. And Coach called a timeout, Coach Brooks did, and brought his team and had a great big huddle over in front of the DeMartha bench and settled them all down. And the game began to turn a little bit after that in the favor of the Stags, as Leonard's on the run here and throws it out of bounds.
Some problems with the snap count in there. It's great for these young guys to get in and play, and these backup players an opportunity to get in, get on TV, and they work hard. But you also, as a coach, like to see them come in and just execute, at least do what they're supposed to do. And that's part of the growth period, learning, performance anxiety curve. You never know when your name's going to be called. You got to be ready to go, get in there and operate.
We haven't seen Grant Donaldson back in punt formation much today. I'm trying to remember if at all. If we did, it was way back in the first quarter of the game. Christopher Williams fields that one, gets away from one, gets the sideline, but can't get the corner turn. He'll be out of bounds around the 34-yard line for Central. So college football getting geared up here. Coming up next,
yeah, baby.
College football scoreboard. Chris Cotter and Brett McMurphy will be back in our studio to set you up for our FCS season opener.
I'm looking forward to that. North Dakota State and Montana, two great programs. Of course, NDSU just ripping off national championships right and left. Going to Missoula, one of the great smaller college environments in the country.
Yeah.
Bob Stitt taking over that program after coming from Colorado School of Mines. Excited to see the Grizzly and the Bison tee it up.
Bernard Phillips near side, driven out of bounds. They'll say he was stopped inbounds, and the clock will stay running here inside of 2 minutes to go. Well, the day was all about the big stars in the game, the top prized recruits, the ESPN 300 players, and so on. Shane Simmons certainly has shown himself well today, the defensive end and tight end for the DeMartha Stags.
Showed up well. He really did. Made a lot of plays, got a lot of pressure. Made plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Good tackler, good pursuit. Got off the ball well. played with his hands, a lot of things you like to see. And as we mentioned earlier, I think he can be a stand-up guy in a 3-4 defense, or he could put his hand down and play in a 4-3.
Phillips fighting for extra yardage after taking the pass from Shai Bland, who's now in at quarterback for is that Bland or is that 18? That's Morton. Check that. Backup quarterback for Central. Ty Morton looking downfield. Whoa. And a nice little spin around catch. Touchdown by Carmoni Green.
There you go. Keep playing. Way to go, Rockets.
26-yard touchdown pass. And it's 38-13. That's a nice ball.
Yeah.
Morton, the sophomore, backup quarterback. And a nice grab there by Green.
It's great to see him just keep playing. You don't have a little bit of success, certainly getting on the plane, going home.
Point after try by Nadelman here. And slides that one through. And so a 24-point game with less than a minute to go. Talk about college football. Of course, College Game Day going down to Fort Worth later on. At Alabama-Wisconsin game. Starting the big South Carolina at Wakulla in Florida. Benedictine and Central Catholic. The Battle of Ohio. We'll see tonight Arlington Martin taking on DeSoto down in Texas. Peachtree and Archer in Georgia. De La Salle, California, the #1 team in the country against Trinity, Texas. That's part of a doubleheader down at Mansfield, Texas. And then the nightcap is Chandler, Arizona, and #3 Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas.
Just got to get another penalty.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Try again.
His voice is cracking. He's hoarse. He's called out so many penalties this game. He's actually had more airtime than you and I both.
Officiating crew has done a good job, though.
Yeah,
this has been it's been an interesting game. They've been a lot of laundry on the field, but they have done a solid job.
Hey, the cool thing about it, you can tell he cares. It means something about him. He's not sloughing his way through it. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Guy loves the game.
So the onside kick. And the ball doesn't go 10 yards before it goes out of bounds. So that will be, mercifully, DeMartha's ball to finish running this one out. You and I and our ESPN crew go college football next weekend. We go up to Kalamazoo, Michigan. Michigan State, the #5 team in the country, taking on Western Michigan.
Yeah, P.J. Fleck rowing the boat. Connor Cook and the Spartans. That's going to be a fun game. Obviously, Western Michigan got back in the bowl situation last year.
Yep.
And Michigan State trying to make a run at the Buckeyes here, so that's going to be a fun game. Great that Mark Hollis, initiated that and got it going and taking the Spartans on the road. A lot of teams won't do that. They make everybody come to their house, but he's got a bigger picture in mind, and good for him. A series of games designed to benefit the economy, basically, of the state of Michigan, where Michigan State will not only play some of the other schools in the state, but, well, we'll go on the road and visit schools like Western and Central and Eastern Michigan. So victory formation here for DeMartha. And the kneel down, and the #5 team in the country in less than a minute is going to be celebrating a 38-14 win over #2 Miami Central. Big win, epic matchup. No one would have called that score, that's for sure. 19 scholarship offer guys in this game. Good things on the horizon for both the players and the teams down the road. And again, DeMartha next week on the 5th. Friday night, facing a trip to #18 American Heritage in Plantation, Florida. And for the Miami Central Rockets, they play against Miami Killian on the road to open their district play in a week's time. So a big win for Elijah Brooks and the Stags on their home field
on the Geico High School football kickoff, as 38-14 will be the final score. Number 5 DeMartha over number 2 Miami Central. And it will be a tough plane ride home for Roland Smith and the rest of the Rockets. So coming up next here, college football scoreboard. Chris Cotter and Brett McMurphy getting you ready for our FCS kickoff coming up. And of course, plenty more coverage throughout the ESPN networks on the weekend in the Geico High School football kickoff. For our entire crew and for Dan Hawkins, Alan Bestwick, so long from the nation's capital.